Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. So there's a conversation happening right now. Somebody is saying, listen, why him and not me? Why her and not you? Why them and not us? These three questions have been the conversation starters for this family's closed room sessions for quite some time. Finally, as a group, with the exception of one family member, they have come to an agreement. In order to raise the stock of their household, so to speak, they have decided to host a foreign exchange student. So the benefits to their social status will stem from the fact that by opening up and sharing their daily lives, they will be a part of a more peaceful global community, right? Every member of this household wants to broaden their horizons, liven up their daily routine, enhance their communication skills. They want to develop understanding. They want to cultivate lifelong friendships. And mostly, they want to know that they've done a good deed for their community and for the world, right? And so this is a family of 5, and there are 4 bedrooms in their home and 1 basement. One of the members of this family is going to have to give up their bedroom to accommodate the foreign exchange student. So the family, with the exception of one, decides that the one family member that is absent will be the one to move to the basement of the home and offer their room to the foreign exchange student. Let's begin this reading. Let's imagine that the foreign exchange student represents a spirit. So when this spirit moves into the home, this represents that a contract has been made with an external, supernatural intelligence, okay? And so this family wanted a relationship. Now, I talked about social status, but we can consider this materialism, right? Because materials give you access. They are keys. And if you want to rise in status, you have to have a key to open the next level. And on this planet, you need to tangibly possess assets. Sometimes assets are people, because people are gateways to opportunities also. So you got to be well connected, right? So your social status, your connections definitely can correlate to your ability to grow. This was the priority of this family. And so they wanted to make a spiritual exchange. This is a reading about a sacrifice, right? And so this family is in a home, in a living room. Now, I think it's important to mention that in a living room, the family is the first institution that we are all acclimated to. That is the first institution that we all have to make it through. And families have cliques. Families have little pockets of power. And in this living room, the family members that thought that they held the power, that were to make this decision to welcome in the foreign exchange student, right? To move one member of the family into the basement in order to move another in. Y'all, this was a spiritual sacrifice. And whoever was not it, whoever was the family member that was, and when I say not it, meaning the one who didn't get a chance, the one whose voice wasn't heard, the one who maybe was considered by the other members of the family to lack value, to lack worth, or to not really have a future where they carry a position of prominence. So it's almost like this: if we're going to sacrifice anybody, we're going to choose this one, right? Because they have the least promise. Alrighty. Now, the same conversation that excited this family, right? Because they thought about the opportunity and the possibility. The same conversation is now overwhelming them, right? And so the same living room that they sat in to decide to make this move, they're sitting in that same space right now, but the energy is totally different. They're sitting in the energy of death. Major changes are happening. Something about the choice they made has transformed them individually, but also collectively. And so it's time to get the boys back together and talk again, so to speak, right? This choice ended one phase or one existence, one reality of their life. What is about to unfold is overwhelming them. They are flooded with thoughts, flooded with emotions, physical sensations. Their body is talking to them, right? All of this is difficult to manage. When your emotions and your thoughts and your body is speaking at the same time and everybody's screaming at you, you have a tendency to feel overwhelmed. This is what the family is feeling. They're feeling overwhelmed because they consider that a sacrifice, a foreign exchange student, right? What does foreign mean? It means unfamiliar, alien, or unknown. Exchange, it's to give something and to receive something in return. The family member that was moved to the basement of the home, let's just talk about energy, right? Let's just talk about energy. What did that look like? Well, one, there is the energy of their choice. Was the choice to sacrifice a member of the family, was that high vibrational or low vibrational, right? And so every choice you make has a consequence attached to it based on the vibration and the frequency of what you have put out into the universe. Your choice is a request. You have asked for something. And so when it returns to you not only in what your mouth said, but also in the energy that you were carrying. What vibration were you in when you placed that order? What vibration was this family in when they asked for an unfamiliar or alien exchange to take place? This was about materialism versus relationship. They sacrificed a relationship in order to develop a relationship with material, status, prominence. And so why were you absent if this is your reading? If you can recognize this as a truth for you, why were you the family member that was moved to the basement? What was it about you? When I talk about you being absent, you were the only one that was not present. You were the only one that was not in agreement. That's because vibrationally your frequency wasn't where they were. And so when they don't include you, when they overlook you, when they don't see your value, when they choose you to be the one that's not it, the one that is not the one to rise, not the one to grow, when they choose you as that, it's because vibrationally you just weren't on fuck shit. You weren't like them. You weren't sustained by materials. You didn't have the desire. You didn't have the longing. And truth be told, we're all foreign exchange students to a certain degree. We're all hosting energies, spirits. We're all hosting an intelligence or a consciousness that has a vibration. And so something is already sustaining us. Now, when you know, you know. Now, what was already sustaining you was the Most High. Something foreign and unknown was already in you, and it was of the highest order. And so to move you to the basement is typically a place where it's dark, right? You only go down there for like utility purposes only, unless it's fully finished and you've made it a living a part of your home that lives every day, where it's used every day, right? But typically basements are forgotten. And so you possess this energy of the Most High, but you were put in a dark space, a forgotten space. But then we have the energy of fate, right? There's nothing that a human can do that can override the already written plan. And so being moved to the basement is almost like a delay, a pause, a block, a stagnation. But it doesn't write a new story. It doesn't rewrite the current story. And so if you were supposed to always live on a main floor or an attic of a home, for a period of time you may have been moved to the basement, meaning your vibration may have been dropped down much lower because you were chosen for a switch, an exchange. When you go to the basement, you carry your energy, your frequency, and your light with you. So whatever was already existing in the darkness, when I say the darkness, I mean when that family made the choice on the main floor of that home in the living room, as above, so below. The choice they made carried a vibration and a frequency. And so when you look below, in the basement of the home was the below version of the choice that they made to experience success. It was a low vibrational choice because they decided that they would sacrifice one member externally. They were motivated to do this. They enforced this. And the idea is that we would cause delay. We would cause failure to the spirit and to the body of this family member in order to welcome a foreign entity. And when we welcome this foreign entity, my goodness, we get to join a bigger community. We get to have peace. Every member of this household gets to grow. Your lives will be eventful, right? You'll be able, listen, the foreign exchange student comes with an intelligence that is unknown, a language, a way of communicating. So to have that energy live in your home, to host that energy, listen, you got to rub shoulders, right? Energy is contagious. You will start to pick up on communication skills and you'll develop understanding that you didn't have before, right? Not only that, this foreign exchange student was pulled from another place. And so you can tap in or visit or travel. You can develop lifelong relationships and friendships with different students from different places, right? Your market value has gone up because you can stretch yourself a little further. You know a little more. You can walk into a few more rooms than you could before, right? And so to put one person in the basement was to break down the spirit, was to break down the body. In order to have this host, you got to have room. You can't host anything or anyone without proper space. But moving a being that already carried a frequency that was higher, or a rank, or a purpose, or a soul that had a status. The status of your soul was above the vibration of the choice that was made on your behalf. When you move to the basement, nothing changes about your status. You have been put in a lower vibration, or you are surrounded by illusions and experiences that are trying to make you submit. Whatever lives in you, they want that to come out, right? And so they've moved you to a lower frequency because guess what? Something else needs to be entered. Now that is the plan that has come to the end. This is the plan that everybody wants to detach from because now they are experiencing loss. The process is over. The plan is over. So they're meeting again. They're like, we need to let this shit go. But why? Why stop now? Why now? You know, hosting a foreign exchange student was supposed to open up many choices, many possibilities. They were going to be able to make life decisions that they never dreamed or imagined that they would be able to make, right? But something started to happen in the home when the foreign exchange student moved in, and the absent family member moved below, right? And so we're talking about exchange of energy. When you bring your light to dark spaces, basements, forgotten places, places that are unvisited, unloved, unlived in, when you take your light to those places, you begin to expose and reveal, right? And so there was an energy that existed in that family's home. There was an energy that existed in the choice that that family had made, that your light was able to exceed and expose when you got down in that basement. So you could have been living in the sacrifice, meaning your life was literally breaking down. Right? What did we talk about the sacrifice? It is externally motivated. This is enforced upon you. And why? It is supposed to cause decay. It is supposed to cause death and rot, to your body and to your spirit, so that anything you do, think, say, touch, or attempt, it only leads to failure. And that must happen for you in order for another entity to be hosted that can offer expansion. The choice to host this entity, although it felt practical, it felt like it would have led to possibilities. This is a relationship. This is a support system where they thought this was a caring connection that they are ready to end and detach from. So let's imagine you move to the basement. The foreign exchange student moves into the home. Well, the energy you carry, the light you carry in the darkness of the home is going to cause some type of reaction. The foreign exchange student is attempting to walk, this host is attempting to walk in your space, right? They've broken down your body, your life, your mind, they've broken you down so something else can exist. But something about the weight of your mantle just can't be carried by anything that isn't of the Most High. And so chaos unfolds in the home. And they're like, we got to break up. You got to go. We got to get him out. This is unexpected, right? This family wanted to be noticed. They wanted to be seen, right? But what they didn't recognize is that there was an energy, a darkness that they possessed. And that is what is being seen because of the light of the one that was exchanged, the one that was sacrificed, is more powerful, right? And so when you're moved to the basement, there's an exchange of energy, chaos unfolds because you are exposing things just by being somewhere you ain't supposed to be, but you absolutely are supposed to be there. Right? It may not feel like it. Don't nobody want to go to no basement. Nobody wants to see their life break down. You don't want to have access to the main floor of a home with all of the amenity. You don't want to have to climb the stairs to eat, climb the stairs to use the bathroom, climb the stairs to go to work, right? Think about how many seasons of your life just to meet your basic needs. It felt like you were climbing the stairs just to get to the main floor. And sometimes you had to climb again to find a place to sleep, right? To take a shower. And so you were put in the basement. But there are consequences to these exchanges, and this is what is going on in a family's living room. They're breaking up. They're like, this, you got to get out. We don't want this exchange anymore. They're insecure. They're doubtful, worried, helpless. They're not clear. Now they feel ignorant. They wanted to be wise. Now they feel dumb. And so the attention that they wanted, they are getting it, but it is not coming in the energy that they wanted the attention of light and fame and notoriety, but they didn't carry that vibration and frequency, right? And so they're getting what they asked for, but it's coming in the frequency that they really carry. So let's imagine you got this one home on the block. Their fire alarm is going off. Right? Their toaster caught fire. Fire department comes. Something happens with the oven. Fire department comes. House floods. Right? Think about this one home, problem after problem after problem. Oh, they're being seen. They're getting fame. They're getting notoriety. They're getting everything they asked for. People are talking. They are rising in social status. Right? But not in the frequency that they wanted because the vibration of their choice was dark and low. And the one that they chose to sacrifice was one of rank. And so now everybody's a little scared because the events are unexpected. You can't control what's happening. Things are happening out of the blue. This is like every day you are waking up in the same home with the same identity, but your life is unknown. You don't know what the heck is about to happen. You don't know. And you are fearing your past choices because every day they are bringing you something. House floods, something catches fire, right? Something breaks. Again and again and again. And so now This group is becoming doubtful and worried. They want to slow something down. They want to wait. They're like, yo, we need to hold off. We need to, whatever. Listen, if everybody needs to stop. So they're thinking if we just stand still and do nothing, everything will disappear, right? If everybody does nothing. And so they don't know whether they go left. They don't know whether to go right. Can you imagine waking up every day in fear, not wanting to go brush your teeth, make yourself some breakfast, because you don't know what's going to happen in the rooms of your own home? And so our home can be a life. Like literally you can have chaos in your life, you can have chaos in your home, or if you look at the compartments of your life, your finances, your relationships, your career, your health, in the rooms of their life, they can be experiencing chaos, right? And so this is devil energy. This is devil energy. This is uncontrolled energy, wild, unleash. This is where time stops. And it's almost like you're watching a free fall, but it's in slow motion. And you know that this is fate. You know at this moment it was all leading here. It's like you're panicked, but you're frozen. You can't even move. There is no God here but Pan. That is the energy of this moment. When we're talking about Pan, what does Pan symbolize? Pan is known for being a Greek deity, but a nature deity, right? Half man, half God. But the energy of Pan is wild and uncivilized. And so they hosted a student wanting to have a life where they could, where it could be control, like, they wanted to be able to control something, right? But they really welcome the energy of wildness, of uncontrolled. They chose something, they ordered something bigger than they could hold, bigger than they could carry. And so now they want to kick out. Now they want to meet again and think about this thing, right? Now, 2 times I got the death card, but this was in 2 different decks. Literal deaths, actual deaths of family members can be happening as a result of a choice that was made by a small group of a family. Actual lives are being lost. And so not only are they seeing death, but in their life they're seeing death. Nobody considered that this could be the outcome of hosting a foreign exchange student. And so when you were moved to the basement, something was stolen from you, right? You wanted the same chance, the same promise as everybody else. You weren't in the rooms, but you wanted and deserved the same possibility as everyone else that sat in the room, grew up in the home, worked at the job, sat in the class with you, right? These groups of people aren't always families. These are intimate connections that we have established with people that we thought cared or supported us, right? So this doesn't have to be your actual biological family, but this would be a group of people that you were a part of. You had an intimate connection with, or you shared an intimate space with at some point in time, right? Moving you to the basement is stealing, is attempting to take, right? It's causing you shortcomings in order for them to rise. And so this is something of the past. This is not something that is happening now. But this is something from the past. This is a situation from the past that is resurfacing. Now, when this situation cycles back around, it may come in the form of a person. So a past situation or a past person connected to this foreign exchange student experience is going to come about. Now, this person could be the thief. So the one that stole it could come back. Or there's somebody that is going to come back, that is going to provide evidence or proof of something, right? So a thief from the past has proof, has evidence. They can easily see, understand. Something is obvious to a thief. What is obvious to this thief? Our life is in chaos. Our life is wild. We can't control these energies. Why? Because fate is here. How do I know fate is here? Because I'm looking at this person's life over here. Why are they experiencing an abrupt change? How come they can't? Did y'all realize they're not in the basement anymore? Did y'all know they moved to the attic? Nobody recognized that this person moved to the attic? No, because you were overwhelmed with the consequences of your choices. And so somebody checked on you at some point in time. And you're not in the basement anymore. You're in the attic because it's time for the energy to be balanced. If something has changed in your life, if you are gaining in the marketplace, if things are turning out for the better for you and they put you in the basement, well, now the entire choice to make the exchange seems faulty. This is the panic, right? And so this is the foreign exchange student, but this really is about a spiritual sacrifice gone wrong. And so the energy and the chaos that is unfolding for a group of people, this is the consequence of the energy that they were carrying when they requested this sacrifice from the universe. They got the fame, they got the notoriety, they rose, they got the social status, but it's really for being thieves, for being dishonest, for being corrupt, for longing after a material more than a people who prioritize materials over relationship. I am literally willing to off another, right? And maybe it wasn't a physical death that the sacrifice required, but it was an energetic death to the point that your spirit and your body would break down. You would be no good. You would be no good. I love y'all. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you in the comments. Take care.